They are saying Anurag Kashyap is promoting my film more than his own.
This is your second film, he said.
उसने बोला तीसरी फिल्म भी तूने अगर बना ली ना अच्छी तो मैं अपने घर में तेरा मंदिर बना दूंगा.
And you know, I was very intimidated by him at first.
Yeah, I met him at dubbing.
So I went with a notebook and pen. It was stupid.
If you had to change one thing about this generation, about love, what would you change?
Screen time.
Do you also go through this angst as a young person?
What is happening is we have so many options.
Vedang, you have options because you are Vedang.
तो मालूम है मेरा कट रहा है, but उसके हाथों कट रहा है who I like, you know.
You said at the very beginning that I don't consider myself political. But why would you say that?
See, I'm very careful about the word politics. I'm very careful about the word religion. Like love, this word might mean something to you and something else to me.
There's just a small little rumor on the internet that Tere Saath mein was the original Agar Tum Saath Ho. Is that true?
Is it?
Welcome Imtiaz sir, welcome Vedang. This is our first ever Be a Man Yaar Townhall and we are so excited कि आप लोग आए हैं इसके लिए. And as you can see, we are doing this with a bunch of young people who are not just fans of yours but also fan of your film. So congratulations first of all. It's such a beautiful film. So moving. मैं जब थिएटर में था देख रहा था मेरे साथ जो बैठे थे, I was also obviously moved but I was just hearing sobs throughout the second half. But most importantly, I feel like you know, for me, बहुत ही visceral response रहा है मेरा और बहुत ही intense response रहा है because my family is also from United Punjab. हम लोग भी refugees थे. हम भी जब मेरे से कोई पूछता है ना where are you from, मैं अभी भी आंसर नहीं कर पाता हूँ. कंफ्यूज हो जाता हूँ कैसे आंसर करूँ. दादाजी इज़ फ्रॉम डेरा गाजी खां, माई दादी जी इज़ फ्रॉम मुल्तान, मेरे नानी इज़ फ्रॉम लाहौर, मेरे नाना इज़ फ्रॉम लियालपुर. All of them are now, you know, in what is Pakistan and what used to be United Punjab and India at one point of time. और उसके बाद जब वो माइग्रेट उन्होंने पार्टीशन में जब वो यहाँ आए टू पंजाब एंड हरियाणा दिस साइड, वो हर जगह अलग अलग जगहों पे सेटल हुए हैं. इवेंचुअली दे फाउंड होम्स इन करनाल एंड पानीपत इन हरियाणा. दैट्स वेयर माई पेरेंट्स मेट. करनाल में उनकी शादी हुई. करनाल यूज टू बी आवर होम फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम बट एज इज़ विद माइग्रेंट्स एंड रेफ्यूजीज वी केप्ट मूविंग. करनाल में फिर जब ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स चले गए तो अब करनाल नहीं रहा घर. उसके बाद हम वी मूव टू बहरीन. पापा चले गए मेरे तो बहरीन नहीं रहा घर. लास्ट 1 year or so आई एम फ्रॉम बॉम्बे. बट एम आई रियली फ्रॉम बॉम्बे? वेयर एम आई रियली फ्रॉम? आई थिंक दैट्स अ क्वेश्चन जो मैं खुद इतना सोचता हूँ जिसके बारे में. कहाँ से हूँ मैं एंड वॉट इज़ माई होम, वॉट इज़ माई आइडेंटिटी इन मैनी वेज. और आपकी फिल्म जब मैं कल देख रहा था दैट वाज ऑल दैट आई वाज थिंकिंग ऑफ यू. अगेन आई जस्ट वांट टू फर्स्ट थैंक यू सर. आपने जो फिल्म बनाई है सच अ ब्यूटिफुल फिल्म बट ऑल्सो नेसेसरी फिल्म, ऑल्सो एन इम्पॉर्टेंट फिल्म, ऑल्सो एन अर्जेंट फिल्म, अ फिल्म दैट आवर कंट्री नीड्स. आई एम सो हैप्पी दैट यू मेड दिस फिल्म. Are you getting similar reactions? आपको क्या मतलब क्या लोग बोल रहे हैं after seeing this film?
I'm also very intrigued by the fact that much as we expected, younger people are associating to the film and younger people are buying the ticket and coming into the theatre. Not only because they have a family history, but also because they are gazing at the track of Kinu and Jia and they are getting a little misty-eyed about that. There is an aspiration, this whole thing about how easy it is, how non-transactional, how easy it is really to be in that world. Cycle chalao, wo ladki wahan wait kar rahi hai, you know, but you're not speaking, you're not negotiating this shit. You're not trying to be schematic about it. तो वो भी एक बात होती है. The other thing that I've realized, and you are in that generation and so is my daughter, and the young people, nobody has said ये समझ में नहीं आए. Nobody has said यार इसमें तो बहुत layers है मेरे सर के ऊपर से चली गई. It's quite like a layered film, you know, because of social media, because of all of the media that they are exposed to. They get it in a second. You don't have to finish the sentence with them. They get all the layers, they pierce through, you know, and therefore they are consuming the film and they have a sense that there is something significant here. एकदम light ऐसे ही नहीं है, fluff नहीं है. So that significance is what's holding them. It might not be कि मेरी फैमिली में ऐसा हुआ है, but they feel हाँ यार ये देखने कि मतलब अच्छा लग रहा है, कुछ भर रहा है देखते हुए. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I actually want to ask for some reactions and responses from the young people. But Vedang sir ने बोला आजकल तो बहुत complicated है, semantics में लोग सोच रहे हैं ये simple है. Do you feel this first of all in general, and did you feel it even more जब आपने film की?
मुझे ये लोग क्वेश्चन पूछते रहते हैं कि अभी टिंडर का ज़माना है और लेफ्ट स्वाइप राइट स्वाइप का ज़माना है, तो आप कैसे रिलेट करते हो उस ज़माने की लव स्टोरी से. बट आई थिंक माई आंसर इज दैट डीप डाउन, एंड नाउ देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आई गेस फ्रॉम माई जनरेशन, दे कैन आंसर फॉर मी एज वेल, दैट वी आर चेजिंग दैट. What is happening is we have so much access and we have so many options that we are also maybe not seeing it that way, but somewhere in our deeper conscience we are chasing that kind of love, the one that lasts for 78 years, the one that you're just where you're not looking anywhere else. So I think as we are from the generation that yes, things are different, the communication is different, the language of love is different, but we are still chasing that. And I think that is why we could all relate to it, and the younger people are relating to it.
तो मैं personally मुझे बताओ कि what I like when you first read this. I mean, जैसे सर बोल रहे हैं, do you also go through this angst as a young person? Do you actually feel the same कि यार ये क्या चल रहा है आसपास, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा और I don't want to be part of this, I want to be part of something like this.
Like I have never been privy to these dating. I have never used them, so I don't know that side of things. But yeah, you have access to so many more people than you ever had before. जैसे अगर आप कीनो और जिया को देखोगे in this story, it's like maybe the few people in college who used to meet, and like there was not so much access. Now you can talk on Instagram, with somebody who's continents away. So I think maybe that is what is leading to more confusion. But yeah, I guess I'm also chasing that. I'm also chasing a Kino and Jia kind of a love story.
I'm going to ask a little bit more on this, but first I want to again ask आप सबके responses, आपने देखी है film, just raise your hand if I'd love to hear some of you, because interestingly जब मैं बाहर आया after the film and I asked the young folks around me आपको कैसा लगा, because मेरा overwhelming response was Partition, मेरे घर की कहानी, मेरे grandparents की कहानी in many ways, and so I was really kind of overwhelmed with that. और फिर उनसे मैंने before I spoke about what I was going through, I asked them, what are you going through? They're like, यार we also want ऐसा love, क्यों कहाँ मिलेगा, कब मिलेगा? And I was like, मैं partition का trauma सोच रहा हूँ, इन लोगों का ये लग रहा है कि प्यार कहाँ मिलेगा, कब मिलेगा, मुझे भी चाहिए ऐसा प्यार. I'm like, wow, this is a really big difference, and at least the way millennials and Gen Zs think. But yes, I would love to hear. Let's start with. She was the one who stopped for 30 minutes. I had to ask her, are you okay? Like I had to give her. I was like, can I give you? Do you want a hug? Is it okay?
Hello, my name is Chaitra. And as he said, I think 40 minutes. I was sobbing for the full second half.
He's not giving you enough credit. He just said half an hour. You actually sobbed for 40
minutes, yeah, exactly. It's so emotional, like watching Kino go through that, watching Nirvair go through it. And it's like the parallels are so... I don't know, I'll start crying again. It was just... I felt connected to Kino. I felt so much pain. I felt everything he was feeling, and I think that's a credit to your performance. Vedang was incredible.
Thank you.
We're kind of living in a world that's falling apart around us. So we're also feeling these anxieties of all of these things while also wanting to fall in love like Kino and Jia. So I think it's such a perfect encapsulation of everything that we're feeling. That's why we're connecting to it. So my question was is to Imtiaz sir. I've watched a few of your movies. I've had the privilege to enjoy them in theatres as well. And I've noticed you have a knack for telling stories, love stories specifically, that transcend time, where time becomes immaterial to the intensity of the love, where it only increases the love between these two people. And we're right now living in a time where, like, the more time passes, like, out of sight, out of mind, like, people forget about who they loved if they're not around, which is really sad. So why do you think these are the kinds of stories that you choose to tell over and over again?
Because I feel that inside me and inside every human being, there is also a scoundrel. And then when they begin to lose something, then that thing starts to make more and more sense to them. it starts to become more and more attractive because you're losing. There's a very nice saying that says that a city looks most beautiful in the light of a burning bridge. Like when you leave the city, the bridge is burning, you can never get back. City बहुत खूबसूरत लगने लगती है. तो हम सब में वो चीज़ है. Grass is greener on the other side, we must have heard. So when you lose something, it becomes very precious. Yeah, the relationship is to yourself. You know. So sometimes, like in some of my movies, what has happened is that what has been left behind, like in this one, what has been left behind, the significance this man must have understood over decades and decades and decades, and it is more enticing now that he is 95 years old and dying than it could have been while he was 20 years old and roaming around in college. फिर वो कभी भी देख सकता था, that exclusivity of being able to finally see her, although he's not seeing her in his mind. वो उस वक्त, I think it was most intense. So I feel maybe like I don't know any better. I'm older than you, but I'm as the same intellectual level as you, you know. So I'm also trying to understand what is it about a person that it becomes more enticing when you lose it. This is such a paradox.
You can say it, it's fine. We can say it, it's okay.
I think these are the themes that keep repeating because I'm myself fascinated by them.
Anyone else who has a, I just want a couple of responses. We'll go, आपके पास भी आते हैं.
Hello sir, hello. First of all, congratulations on the film. Really, we all loved it and that's why we're here.
अच्छा पसंद नहीं आती तो नहीं आते.
तब भी आते.
अच्छी बात है. I like that.
Sir, the thing which you said, I agree that there's a chase within people from our generation that there is access to everyone. We can, if we don't have someone, we can just go to the next person. But the way that it's beautifully encapsulated in the movie, that even though there are adverse situations, still that love was something that us as audience we could feel, that deep love, that yearning that we could tell on the screen. That is truly something that we all wish to see in our lives as well. So yeah, that's just something that I really agreed upon. So that was a beautiful point.
Who else had their hands up? Let's go.
Hi sir, congratulations on the film. It was one of the most favorite films that I've seen recently, and especially I like how the story of Jia and Kinu, their unresolved love was kind of a metaphor for the unresolved trauma that many victims of the partition have faced, and how they were also not able to get the closure that they were supposed to. And I think that for such a complex topic, which is not taught that well in our history books and not taught by our previous generations, you've expressed it in a way that is easy for our generation also to understand through romance, as well as through a perspective of history that we all found relatable, even though you were not in that time. So I thought that was really beautiful. And my question to you was that nowadays, every time a film comes out, unfortunately, especially on topics like these, it's always seen through the lens of what message is it trying to convey, what side is this film on, or what is the narrative. So what made you choose a film like this on a topic like this at a time like this, and what message, if any, are you trying to convey through it?
I'm trying to convey no message. It was a purely emotional decision to make this film because I met far too many people that have gone through partition and who are alive today to tell the story. And I saw something in their stories that was very moving, something that I hadn't seen before, that some things that I might have read in some books and some stories in the past. It was a purely emotional decision. I want to pass no message. This is a story. This kind of thing has happened to a lot of people. There is something that Nirvair Gariwal's character, that is Diljit's character, or the contemporary person living today can acknowledge and learn or enjoy or feel from the experience of what happened in 1947. So I made it like that. I am on no political side in life. I'm not a social scientist or a psychiatrist either. I would like to tell stories also, sometimes which are based on historical events, because history books can inform you, but that's not enough for a human being. I feel art can make you emote to that, feel that. And that's our, I think, job as filmmakers.
Hi, sir. Firstly, my name is Jim Jim, and beautiful film, like amazing. You know, for some people, it's more about partition, and they are, connecting of whose families, of course, they lost and all. But for our generation, it's more about love and somebody making all those efforts, and it's about such little.
You made a lot of effort in the film.
Yeah, it's
Cycle
about
chalana
those
bhi ek effort
little
hai.
efforts. And I especially want to thank you for that because of you I'm actually winning arguments at my home. Yeah, because I come I come from a very matriarchal family, so my father is
Matriarchal.
yeah.
Matlab mother dominates.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, my father is always like, the modern guys are more backward and I won't let you get married. And I always say, but see the film na, guys do so much effort, and my father is like, but it's a film. And then I counter him, but you say, movies are the mirror of the society. So it's true. So I really want to thank you for that. But yeah, it was just a thank you for making films like that where I can just counter my family ki no, I'll get love like this.
ऐसा love possible है.
Yeah.
Men like that are possible.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my family don't think that way because, men these days.
Do we know men these days, Church?
I think Vedang and I have got this insight. You see, Vedang, all your life, make movies that can make them win arguments at home.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's how they will come and watch your films. They'll get armed and then they'll go and bash their parents.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What she said, very interesting, right? She said that ऐसे आदमी आजकल दिखते कहाँ हैं, मिलते कहाँ वगैरह वगैरह. I find it so interesting कि हम लोग जब फिल्मों की बातें करते हैं, मेल गेज की बात करते हैं, राइट? एंड मेल गेज टिपिकली क्या डिफाइन करता है कि द वे यू लुक एट अ वुमन, एंड यू possibly objectify her, and you look at a man, but we don't talk about that enough. You also objectify men in many ways, right? You're also objectifying men and showing them as dominant and strong and big biceps and big abs वगैरह वगैरह. मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग जो इस फिल्म में चीज़ लगी थी कि द ओनली टाइम वी सी द वेदांग्स कैरेक्टर्स कीनूज काइंड ऑफ बॉडी आर्केटाइप वाज ड्यूरिंग अ सॉन्ग जहाँ वो नहा रहा है और दूर से फ्रेमिंग किया आपने उसकी, like
उसका क्लोज शॉट था, हाँ, जिसके लिए मैंने काफी पंप भी किया था, जो काट दिया
exactly. I could see the rips of his abs, but from far, and I was like, what an interesting choice. You've got Vedang Raina, you know that there is a bunch of women who just love those shots, but you've chosen not to show, and I found that so interesting. And आपका male gaze हमेशा ऐसे ही रहता है. You have a very different male gaze than the male gaze we see in films around. So I just want to ask, why do you prefer these choices versus the dominant choices society right now कि आदमियों को ऐसे दिखाना है कि कुछ भी तोड़ सकते हैं, देखो उनकी क्या बॉडी है और कितने स्ट्रांग है, कितना गुस्सा करते हैं.
I don't want to break the narrative. I don't want to put in ऐसे होता है ना कि हाँ, like an extra added thing just for the heck of it, just to get some more ogling eyes and all of that. So वो होता है. I know that this can happen, but I feel that the way that we are looking at Kinu should not change.
Exactly.
We shouldn't
It's the
suddenly
character.
start looking at Vedang Raina's body. He was very chiseled. I was saying put on weight or lose muscle.
Yeah.
And you also voluntarily said, यार मेरा ना उतना अभी lose हुआ नहीं है. We were worried about taking this shot. ये लेना है कि नहीं लेना है. फिर finally हमने decide किया कि wide shot होगा, उतना पता नहीं चलेगा. Girls, there is more to see than you have seen. Okay. Next film.
But no, I'm asking क्योंकि मुझे ये choice आपकी हमेशा से दिखती है, right? Like my favorite character, of course, from जब भी met, हमने शाहिद के character को दिखाए हैं. Across Ranbir characters across. Your film always has softer men. और आपकी फिल्मों में जाते हैं और हम कहते हैं नहीं यार ये भी तो है आदमी जो शर्मा रहा है, जो लड़की के सामने बोल नहीं पा रहा है.
यार मैंने ऐसे ही लोग देखे हैं जिंदगी में.
I was going to say that also. कि मतलब these people are actually what exists, and maybe the masculinity that we see in cinema is again a feeling that we want to chase and want to reach that. So it's not always about relatability in my opinion. It's about what we're aspiring also. क्योंकि कभी-कभी लगता है कि काश मैं ऐसा होता. Which is also a great feeling, and cinema, gives you that also. But I think what I feel as an audience about his characters is that he keeps it very real. ऐसे लोग थे यार, मतलब people who were shy in front of girls, guys who were shy in front of girls, that used to exist and still exists. So it's so nice that you show that in your film.
Yeah, I'm just looking around at the boys in this room. Look at that. What's your name, yeah? Are you shy in front of girls? I think you're lying. I'm sure that a lot of boys, all boys are a little
ये
shy.
सबके सामने थोड़ा बोल देंगे सर आपको कि हाँ
अरे
मैं भी
यार,
shy
हम
हूँ.
लोगों ने, like I've only seen boys who even they are trying to be macho in life and they are, you know, the basketball champs and all of that. But when girls come and they say hi, and this was like, they all get nervous. And especially if they like that girl.
Exactly. If they really like that girl, I think you would naturally, your instinct is to feel shy. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that.
Exactly, yeah. So anyway, so this is again not a demographic representation. I feel that I have seen people like this, or I can relate to the feeling of being like how Keanu was. Little awkward in front of this person. And he knows that she's like being over smart and saying, oh, meri bali gir gayi, kahan hogi? And giving him the indication to come after, taking his cycle and all of that. Isko मालूम है मेरा कट रहा है. But उसके हाथों कट रहा है who I like, you know. So he's smiling also.
Yeah.
So our brief was that you know she's doing this, but you're kind of going along with it. So this is your game. But I've seen these kind of things happening. I've not really seen the kind of characters that sometimes I see in some cinema. And while I enjoy that as well, there's no problem. But this is not that kind of film. Or I'm unable, like I have to draw from life to bring to cinema. I can't draw from a film to get into my film.
तो आपको when आप जब फिल्मों में जाते हो और आप देखते हो, you know, and again I'm going to also just trying to make a distinction between अभी जो आजकल फिल्मों को बहुत ज़्यादा पैसे मिल जाते हैं, you know, and a certain kind of man is represented in that cinema. आपको देखकर ये लगता है यार ये तो बहुत ही मतलब ये हैं कौन लोग, मतलब what is going on, like do you feel out of place? हम लोग kind of misfits की भी बात कर रहे हैं आपकी सारी फिल्मों के अंदर. I've always seen the man is in many ways a misfit in the world around them. नहीं समझ आता कि मैं कहाँ fit हो रहा हूँ, you know, and of course now we are talking about a partition story where there is the sense of loss also and the sense of like what is my home, what is my identity, मैं हूँ कौन. So do you also sometimes feel like that in the cinema around you कि मैं
अच्छा
like what is going on, ये लोग क्या बना रहे हो, मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूँ.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. Because I feel that as a viewer, I've got a much bigger range of movies than I have as a director. I can watch all kinds of movies and enjoy all kinds of movies. I can watch kids' cartoon shows and I can watch, you know, this superhero films and all kinds of films, really.
Dhurandhar.
Huh?
Dhurandhar.
Yeah. And actually, Dhurandhar, I've always said I have to thank Dhurandhar because my film was a little long and no distributor said cut it short. So I enjoy all kinds of cinema, but when I go to make a film, when I write a story, it comes through in a certain way. And I can't make every kind of film, and I don't want to also.
Of course.
So this is what comes purely from me, and this is how it comes out.
But again, Vedang, मुझे आपका भी मतलब just the choices you made in after Reggie, you know, and Reggie, of course, there was a sweetness to him by the end of the film. But जिगरा के अंदर भी यहाँ, you know, in this film also, आपने जो दोनों characters आपके रहे हैं, वो थोड़े vulnerable and innocence. I think there's an innocence that I see in both the characters that you have played in the last two films. Both incredible performances. Let me also say that beautiful performances. Again, आपको ये pressure नहीं आता कि मुझे यार अगर मैं ऐसे performances करूँगा या ऐसे parts play karunga, you know, when the world around you is again looking at a certain kind of cinema that is a blockbuster cinema, whereas this cinema is a little bit more, it's more about feelings than really about big emotions. It's about the small things, like she said, like a little bit of a detail that you are, again, you know, जो साइकिल वाला सीन है, मुझे आपकी परफॉर्मेंस उसमें इतनी अच्छी लगी यार. वो जा रहा है, वो समझ नहीं आ रहा मैं चढ़ूँ साइकिल पे, उतरूँ साइकिल से. Just he's like, should I smile, should I stay like this, should I say, I loved your body language in there, and I just thought it's such a beautiful portrayal of like first love and that first big crush that you have. उस time क्या आपके अंदर जा रहा होता है, वो सारे emotions आपने इतने अच्छे से दिखाए हैं उस scene के अंदर. In fact, the other scene that I really loved in the film, you know, which was, I honestly, it stayed with me so much more than, I mean, so many scenes have stayed with me, but वो मुझे लगा इतने अच्छे से किया आपने. That innocence of that boy sitting down and saying, मैं नहीं जाऊँगा, ये मेरा घर है, you know, how can, कुछ भी बोला होगा, उन्होंने ये बोला है, उन्होंने ये बोला, वो यहाँ के थोड़ा देख रहे हैं, उन्होंने तो कहा था कि आपको जहाँ रहना रहो, तो मैं क्यों जाऊँ. And just that, again, I think it was so endearing to see the vulnerability that you bring in that scene. There is innocence of youth as well. I want to understand this choice that you're making. आपको ये pressure नहीं आता जब आसपास आप फिल्में देख रहे हो and you know certain kind of man is being portrayed और आप ये choose कर रहे हो.
Firstly, thank you for saying that about that scene where I sit down. It was actually a lot to do with Sir also, because you know that is one of those scenes where maybe my initial instinct was in a certain direction, with Sir let's happen. कि you know he's सटक गई उसकी थोड़ी सी है ना, वो आता है साइकिल को धक्का देता है and he's thinking this is my place here, and my instinct was to get angry, you know, कि मैं नहीं जा रहा, but he wanted me to catch that pitch almost, that he's a child who's whining, you know. It makes it so much more innocent and vulnerable. कि मैं नहीं जा रहा, मुझे नहीं जाना. It's that, you know, it's not him getting pissed off and trying to fight, you know. It's not hand to hand. It's more about like, how can you say this to me? It's my place. Like, almost like, you know, the innocence of that time. So that has a lot to do with him. And I was like, okay, that's what you want to do with this scene. And that's the pitch he wanted me to catch. And that vulnerability comes up. I mean, that's like his direction. And coming to the point of choosing these kind of films, I feel like, firstly, I feel like it's kind of happened to me. I think the choices that I made have kind of just happened to me. It's not a very conscious trajectory that I'm trying to take, because I've never had a trajectory per se. It's about, you know, first it was about just getting some opportunities. Now it's about wanting to just work with makers that I love, I want to collaborate with, because I think more than anything, it's this phase of my you know, me starting off where I'm really growing. I really feel like that. I really feel I'm so invested and I'm getting so much more obsessed with what I'm doing. My craft, acting, working and collaborating with people that I look up to. And that kind of collaboration, I feel like is more important to me than other things at this stage of my career. Also, I feel like I can also, you know, do this right now. I don't want to think about, you know, everything else, the tertiary stuff where they talk about, you know, but you have to be this kind of hero and then action film. And, you know, I feel like maybe I have the time to get there. Why don't I take this time to grow? And yes, of course, there's a lot of like stuff that you're told and a lot of things people talk about around you. But I think I'm okay with that. And who would say no to an Imtiaz Ali film anyway?
Of course. So, I saw how quickly you said close-up shots भी थे. तो बुरा तो लगा होगा थोड़ा बहुत.
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं.
कि मेरे biceps भी नहीं दिखे.
No, not at all. Not once did I think about that. It's about that he made the conscious decision of, you know, making the character look that way. In fact, all my hard-earned muscle in the gym was lost for this film.
Yeah, he had to. And then I remember at that point of time, his counsel was the same. No, it's not as though like he's very sensible and sorted in that way. He wants Kino to come through and the film to come through in a certain way. So I don't know why we ended up taking that close-up shot. Anyway, we decided
No, of course, and it's a great choice as well.
But there's something in here for young people. I feel that there's a lot of noise around young actors. And all people that are successful and like Vedang and Sharvari rising, you know, everybody can see their potential, everybody can know that perhaps they'll be better tomorrow. A lot of people come in at that point of time in your lives, you know. The noise will be there, but the ability to think it through from your own mind and know that there is no formula for success, boss. You have to create that formula as you go along. That is something that I think this is my time to tell you, Vedang, that you've done very well. There were lots of times when there was a lot going on, and typically in a shoot, some egos can be hurt. You know, remember that makeup scene, little bit thing that happened? The small things.
If you don't mind, can you share what was it that?
I mean, it was a simple thing. I feel I don't remember distinctly that there was what was going on is that there's a film makeup thing because he was wearing a turban and there was a beard and all of that. And he has his own team. So sometimes what happens is that the egos can clash because who does the final authority, who's the final authority on the look, so on and so forth. So there was something of that sort happening, and it got to him. I try to not let the actor go through all of this problem, but it got to him. And I realized that he was very calm about it. You've got to take everybody along, yet take the permission from them to use your own decision. in going forward. So I think you demonstrated that very, very well.
No, it's a collaborative process. I feel like ego is always going to get, it's a negative thing on a film set. It doesn't help you ever. So it is the one place where like you can't really do things alone. You just can't. Neither a director of the film, and nobody can do things alone. You need to be able to collaborate and in a fruitful way. So now it's been a little more than 2.5 years since I've come into this industry, and I didn't have a single clue about what to do. I was clueless. For me, the most amazing thing was कि मेरी शक्ल TV पे आने वाली. When I was cast for Archie's, that was like, that the biggest thing for me. And then I realized that there is like, certain decisions you have to make. There's people around you, helping you in those decisions, guiding you in some direction. Other people also important. People who've been in the industry, experienced people are guiding me in another direction. And as a young guy, you're confused. I was only 23, I think, 22, 23 years old. And I didn't know. So for me, it was about somehow, I don't know how that 23-year-old Vedang decided that like the most important thing is you just focus on your work. Because I think that people maybe I looked up to as an actor, or maybe as an audience, I wouldn't even say actor, are people who were good at what they do, are capable performers, and I feel like those are the actors that's the level I want to reach.
Give an example.
Oh, so many. I mean, there's Ranveer, there's Ranbir, and these people I feel like got to where they are because they had a hold on their craft.
Sir, it's so interesting कि आपने making a film about multiple different generations, you also got to work with 3 different generations of actors, right? You got to work with Naseer sir, you got to work with Diljit, and you got to work with Vedang. And Naseer sir, of course, being the absolute legend that he is. And Diljit having his own understanding of as a global superstar, and Vedang as a young rising star. Just tell me about how did you approach working with these things? What did you learn from them? What did you understand about the way 3 generations of men look at their work right now, and the 3 generations of actors? I would love to kind of hear आपको क्या takeaway मिला इन सब से?
What I've understood about actors is that they don't belong to a generation or to a group or a category. I think actors are individual people. No matter what their ages are, where they come from, according to their personality, they need a certain type of direction. They perform best in a certain situation. And my job as a director is to instinctively understand that, provide that, and push the actor in that direction. The fact that Naseer is the oldest in the mix, most experienced for sure in the mix, does not make him an actor who pretends to be experienced in performance. He, in fact, has the confidence to allow himself to be lost in a performance. Because he knows that हो जाता है. तो अब क्या है ना कि जैसे in life we don't know what the next sentence is that we are going to speak. But in a performance we know because we've rutted the dialogue. But yet it has to, at the time of performance, be coming on its own rather than coming from memory. Because you'll see that, the audience will see that, right? To leave yourself in performance, for an example, he is playing a patient with memory issues. Sometimes he used to forget dialogues, therefore.
Wow.
And he used to get irritated, and then we used to cut and take again. But he allowed himself to go there. He was not like, as an actor wants to be safe. An actor does not want to be exposed in front of the unit that, "Arey yaar, kaisa actor hai, bhul gaya." But that might make your performance ordinary. Naseer was like a kid. Sometimes in the shot I was talking to him. In the running shot I was talking to him. You don't behave like that to a legend. Like, it's sacrilegious, right? That is Naseer. Diljit. Diljit is like just fresh off the toast. It's like, अब क्या है ना, ये जो टोस्ट है इसको ठंडा होने के पहले बटर लगा देना है. You understand? He's so fresh and he's so alive. His energy is so present that all I'm thinking is, let's be very clear. While he is here in this, let's take lot of shots, which are some of my favorite shots, where Naseer and Diljit are talking to each other, and there's reference of Hitler and Martian and all of that, are very tricky performances. Believe me, that is the least directed. Sometimes I have not even cut. Aane do jaise aa raha hai. Because they are both so present, and with each other they become really remarkable. So the freshness, the presence of Diljit, the fact that while he's dancing, performing, doing videos, or acting. He's so there. He's so real. What I have understood from him is don't analyze too much. Keep it simple. Keep it simple is the important message to take from him.
वो तो है, I think.
Keep it simple. But वो क्या होता है, talented लोगों का simple होना आसान होता है ना. वो ऐसा performer है तो वो simple ही रख सकता है. Even then people will love him. So one rule does not apply to all. But there is so much from him. The other thing that one can learn and should learn from Diljit and is that this is a man, you talk to him, you feel that he's just coming out of Dosanjh Pind, standing in front of you, and he never went out of there. He's so rooted. He's extremely rooted. Like I remember Sharvari watching the rough cut. Remember we were there when we, and her reaction after watching the film, the first reaction was, Diljit, how does he do it? Like, how is it possible for him to have gone into a whisper at that point of time in the film? Remember she was saying that. It's really remarkable. So I try to be on the front foot with him. Like fresh and don't contaminate. Don't like just do it quickly. So that pays off, and he's very present, he's very real. With Vedang, I feel Vedang in his my friend, this is your time. मैं तारीफ नहीं कर रहा. What is happening here?
मैं इसके लिए बाहर जाऊँ कमरे के बोल क्या?
No, you know about this. Like he, in his mind as an actor, he's like a nuclear scientist.
Wow. Okay.
Like there is always arithmetic going on before that shot. There is a lot to understand and analyze, and he's got an overactive mind, and he processes, tries to understand, tries to dissect, understand better, reflect. His mind does a lot, which is fine. The important thing is that when you are performing, will you be able to take that step and forget about all that? The best actors are those that can inform themselves before the performance, and in the performance just trust their bodies, you know. And he was able to do that. So and then if he were to, and I will recommend in your life, never watch the monitor after, like you didn't in this film. Never. Because kya hoga, uske baad then again the mathematics will come.
Right.
So all of that is important to inform, and yes, but in the shot, and this is the unique ability, in the shot you never lied. You were never pretending. You were never faking it. You know, like how you can fake that I'm not angry, but kote main bol sakta. So he never does that. You never do that. Never do that ever, no matter what happens. Sharvari is very like a team player, I feel. She's very, there is a natural energy in her.
She's so good in this.
There's a natural energy of, there's an exuberance, there is an attractiveness about that person, and she processes, she's a team player. She also has various gifts, like she's very good with diction. This was a diction very removed from her background, but she carried that very well. And there's a positivity, you know. I feel she's a very, very talented actor. And she's also a very director's actor and a team actor, you know. So I feel I've never seen two actors playing so well with each other as these two have, ever. Offset, onset, you know, doing scenes, doing lines, rehearsing before the shot, and then supporting each other in the shot. That's how it was. But it was individual. It was not as though Sharvari and Vedang, they're not like each other at all as actors. At all. If they weren't working with each other but with someone else, it would have been, Sharvari would have been a very different quantity. Sharvari can be different actors with different people. She has that ability.
I also want to know, sir, क्योंकि you know आपने एक Instagram post भी डाली थी कि there is so much you have learned from this film as a human being, and I feel like जो ये subject है and जिन चीज़ों के बारे में ये बातें हो रही हैं इस फिल्म के अंदर, जो कहानी है, and I think the sense of, I think there's a haunting you feel as you go through the journey of these folks. Was there also something that you took away from them as people? Again, because it's so interesting, आपको अलग-अलग generations के साथ काम करने को मिला है. What is it that you were taking away from all the men in the film, from Sharvari, just as people, and any conversations you had with them, anything that you felt like made you either reminded something about yourself or something you learned from them?
Well, with Vedang, I always go back to that. It's an offset kind of a thing. Well, we were taking a flight together and he'd read a draft of dialogue that I had written. Actually, he helped me with the dialogue that Nirvair and people in the contemporary world would use. And you know, sometimes as older people, we try to give words in the mouths of younger people. And I see, you know, that young people are going to be using words like benching and breadcrumbing and body count and all that. Yeah, but when young people actually don't do that. My daughter Ida, who's always reading my scripts, etc., always says that. Have you found me seeing these words ever? There was one word that he was saying that, you know, that I read the script. That word, are you sure about? I said, okay.
What was the word I
I don't know,
wanted?
some young
The
person.
YOLO or swag or something.
नहीं वो तो redundant हो चुका है, but something else which I might have written and I changed it. So I feel that like every time I'm a lot in touch with his age group because of my daughter, and I feel that they are just individuals here. Like I don't think they see themselves like, oh, we are young people, so we've got to be in a certain way. Everybody is actually trying to be individual at the time. That's what I learned from him and from Sharvari actually. From Sharvari, I also realized, you know, get different kinds of food and organize these moments and meet and eat and do things. So she's like the organizer in the pack. And also always keep that energy going. So that Naseer every day calls me 2-3 times nowadays after the film is released. Imtiaz,
I'm really curious to know what he's
Yeah, so he's like, kya ho raha hai? I said, sir, I'm going to this theatre. The response is now improving. And I think people are liking your performance a lot. Yeah, I am also getting a lot of messages. People are liking my performance. So I said, why don't you come to the theatre? So Vedang is coming and you also come. He actually tried to.
Yeah?
Yeah, he actually tried to. I said, I'm going to Lido Cinema. Aap aakar ke dekho audience ka. He said, and then he called me before. He said, Imtiaz, I'm 20 minutes from Lido Cinema. Like, I'm 30 minutes from Lido Cinema. Are you coming? And then he said, he's scared to come. But he's very, very, very anxious to know how the film is doing.
Yeah?
Very, very.
That's surprising to me.
One will not expect. He calls me 2-3 times a day. During shooting, he didn't call me 2-3 times a day. Abhi wo kar rahe hain ki yaar, because he's thinking that, yaar, this film should reach. Yeah, this film should reach. It's not as though कि मेरी performance लोग देखें. He's not that kind of an actor. No actor actually in this film is that kind of an actor that they want only their individual glory. So it's like, हाँ क्या हुआ? I said, नहीं, yes, sir, Tuesday is better than the Monday. इसका क्या मतलब है? I said, मुझे समझाया गया है कि इसका मतलब ये है that film is uptrending, sir. More people are coming in to watch the film. Now they will watch, and if the word of mouth is very strong, more people will come. Okay. Keep me posted, huh? He's calling me. So at his age, with the kind of films that he's done, he's won every accolade possible, right? He's very anxious to know on a day-to-day basis क्या हो रहा है, अभी क्या हुआ फिल्म का, is it
आए क्यों नहीं आ रहे वो फिर
उनको ना he's got this like social anxiety type. उनको लगता है मैं वहाँ जाऊँगा and I don't know how to handle myself there. See, this is not an old mature person's behavior. This is a kid's behavior. Yeah, he's like that awkward kid. He's like that. Even on set, he's like that.
जो सबसे पहला conversation जो हमारा 1 million पे गया था was the one with Naseer sir. And then I met him a few days later at a screening. We bumped into each other. And I was like, oh, Naseer sir, I was like, aapki conversation. And he just, like, I'm telling you because I'm still in awe. He just kind of opened his arms and I was like, is Naseeruddin Shah giving me a hug? And at first I was like, is he just going to say something, a Shakespearean thing over here? And I'm just, so then I'm like, should I lean in, not lean in? मैं खुद तक confused हो गया कि मैं Sir, I also did. It was really like a slow motion hug when I also started having this and he started doing this and I was like, मैं थोड़ा आगे भी आ जाता हूँ. And then I was like, shit, I got a hug from this. मतलब that is for me honestly the biggest compliment I could have gotten for anything I've done in my life. कि Naseeruddin Shah, after a conversation with him, I said कि इतना अच्छा मुझे इसका response आ रहा है. I want to give you a hug. I was like, man, this is it. This is the pinnacle. So, but I mean, I find him just such a incredible and what a performance. मतलब, just what an insane to have. आप जो बोल रहे हो ना वही कि to be at that age and to give a childlike performance in many ways कि to give a performance where you are unrecognizable. You are
unrecognizable.
It's like you're a new actor. You're trying to prove something that I can still do this. It's just so beautiful.
And the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
How he has enjoyed this. I've seen, and the enjoyment is not just with a smile and I had a good time. It's like cathartic. So he really loved it. All of us loved it.
And I think he loved the film. I really think he really loved the film.
Yeah,
and I don't think he would say that. And I mean, he was complimenting the performances also. And he said the young kids did so well. And that was just...
What did he say to you?
The first thing, actually, I met him at dubbing. We happened to, meet at dubbing.
I have a picture
and
from there.
He said, very well done, Vedang. Thank you, sir. That means a lot coming from you. Then he said, because of you, people are going to think I'm a fantastic dancer.
Love that. I love that. What a man.
Thank you so much. But he's been very, very sweet to me because
only because he liked your performance, Vedang.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd say that ये कैसे है कि young में इतना अच्छा actor नहीं था, older होके अच्छा actor हो गया.
He would probably not enjoy that.
No, we won't enjoy that. He's not a guy to fake it at all.
Yeah.
You have earned it. Well done.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the biggest compliments. But and I was very intimidated by him at first because he's an intimidating person. Honestly, I did not know much about him as a person. It was always Naseeruddin Shah, the actor, and I was nervous because I was like kind of fanboying, and also because I've seen so much of his, forget his work, but like so much of his like masterclass videos and stuff like that when I was kind of auditioning and doing growing as an actor. So I told him, I said, sir, so weird. I went to his house.
Yeah.
You'd call me to his house to meet him. And I was like, how will I do this? How will I go to his house? And anyway, so I went with a notebook and pen, which is like the most stupid thing to do. And to say hi to him, or just, catch up, but I had to go. And I was thinking, like, because I've always seen them as this, like, powerhouse of knowledge. And I just...
Teacher.
Yeah, it's such an odd thing to do. Yeah, but he was saying something and I was secretly like, acha, okay, and kind of writing it. But he gave me a very interesting, because I told him about this and he was very excited. I could see that he was excited to know that people from this generation are so, impacted by what I've done. And I'm like, of course, sir, And he said, you've seen those masterclass videos, the ones I did at NSD? I said, yes, sir, all of them. And I started quoting from that. And he said, yes, I did say that. And he was I could tell he was very excited and he hugged me and everything. And he told me to read a book, which I bought and I did actually read.
Which one is that?
It's called, keep forgetting, I think it's Being an Actor. It's called Being an Actor by Simon Callow. The author is Simon Callow. And that was some gem I got from him.
Did he at any point have this thing ki you are playing me, so you better
do well,
be this or that or nothing? No,
nothing like that. In fact, I think it was a more conscious choice that, of course, Naseer sir made, but I also thought that it would be effective, is that we don't really know what each other are doing. Because we were almost shooting two separate films, right? There was a present day and then there was the past. And I was wondering if me as a 19, 18-year-old, Keanu would want to know how I'm like 78 years later. Does that impact my performance? Is that an impact I need? And I was wondering, maybe Naseer sir should be knowing what I'm doing, how I was in the past, and this is the type of boy he was, but I don't think he also really got into that, which was, in my opinion, I feel it was a good way to look at it, because the partition was such an important event, and he's almost two different men. So, and even, the language and the diction, Keanu at 18 would probably be impacted so much by the British influence, and at college he must be getting taught English from English professors, actually British people, and So his diction is maybe a little more anglicized, and his English is very proper, and he's not as hardened with his, with his Punjabi. But much later it's much different. So I think that worked out.
I wanted to ask 2-3 questions around partition, but I also want to just open it up right now. For I know कि love के ऊपर बहुत सारे सवाल हमको पहले से बता रहे थे ये लोग. So any questions about love, longing, yearning that you all have that you've been dying to ask? Please feel free to ask.
Also, when Naseer read the script, the line he liked the most was, "Love is like poison."
Yeah, he liked that one.
वो best है, हाँ. That निर्वैर की line है, but he's the.
So firstly, congratulations, sir. And I was hearing, and as I was hearing the entire conversation, the podcaster and me just couldn't settle with two questions actually I have. And as sir rightly mentioned कि हम इतनी सारी बातें सुन रहे हैं, तो वो questions आता है कि आपने ऐसी movies बनाई है, हमारी generation देखते हैं उसमें love है, pain है, separation है और reunion भी है. But as you see this generation और उसके अलग अलग phases of love, if you had to change one thing about this generation about love, what would you change?
Screen time. I fear what I try to do for myself. What I try to do for myself and what I tell, my younger friends to do is to say that, I am a product of daydreaming. If I did not have that kind of time without a device, would I be daydreaming so much? Because all my stories and my whole career is coming out of daydreaming, man. So if I was born today, what would be the scenario? Because if I'm free, I can be on social media, I can be on one or the other device, and I can be consuming something. All of these options were not available when I was your age. So I had the time to actually go on a cycle and nurse a feeling for many days, write poetry about it, become a writer therefore. Screen time kam karo, bhai.
May I ask if you ask the same question to your daughter about you, what would she say?
One or two things I can't say. What she can say, she already says.
Like what is?
One or two things as I'm saying I can't say. The second thing is, don't have to be so nice all the time. You don't have to go out of the way each time. People get it. So this is something that she says, yeah. And I don't know, this is a subtle thing, but this is what I could think of. And I think there is something in it because I think my generation is very demonstrative. I'll give you an example. See how many hand gestures and facial expressions people my age make vis-a-vis these kids. They make less, we make more. We are trying to reach out. You see? They don't. They are very... Like, we have a joke about younger people saying that, yeah, my nephew said, did you see the film? Yeah. कोई भाव ही नहीं है. And if you like Mohit Chauhan was saying, बाबा जी मेरी nephew ने पिक्चर देखी. मैंने उससे पूछा कैसी लगी पिक्चर कैसी लगी? Nice, very nice. तो मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया कि
where is Akash? There is literally a boy in this room who was with us right now. The girls over there were like love, loss, longing. I asked him how he's nice.
Yeah, so I think, but overall हम लोग बड़े मतलब मेरी generation थे ना बड़ी demonstrative है. मतलब वो ना मतलब बहुत जोर से express करते हैं मतलब physically hands. So this generation is different. So Ida might be feeling that why am I being so? आप कैसे हैं भाई? सर भी हिला रहे, स्माइल भी कर रहे, हाथ भी बढ़ा रहे, इतना क्यों? एक चीज करो.
I'm taking this as a note for me also because I feel like I also do this a lot. Yeah, I should be. So the young people call this nonchalant. Be a little nonchalant. You don't have to be chalant so much.
Chalant थोड़ा कम करो.
They all like in unison were like, yeah, okay, got it, friends.
I had one question for sir.
Oh, so sorry, yaar.
Sir?
No, it's no problem.
Sir है आप sir हो गए.
Yeah, I mean the way you have performed in the film, absolutely.
Oh.
Superb.
But please don't call me that, please.
So you have played a character जो पार्टीशन के टाइम पे है and you have shown a person who is in love वो टाइम पे मतलब that the era was completely different. and the generation you come from has a complete different narrative and story about love. So what that character has changed you personally when you think about love those times and today.
Purity of it. I think now there is a lot of, like, he was using the word contamination, and that comes from, like I said, access and options and voices. You know, voices from so many people around you. लेकिन उस समय ऐसे नहीं होता था. You used to love someone and you were just completely just devoted to them. I think that is what you're missing. And after watching the film, and not just from my performance as Kino, but from just watching the film and seeing Nirvair's character, I feel like that is what I'm chasing. That is what a lot of people like. I was very surprised that there was a response in unison saying, we're all chasing that. We're chasing a love that can last 78 years or more for eternities. And I think that is my takeaway from this.
Why do you think you're not like Agar? And again, this is my question, and I always kind of, whenever I talk to the young folks in my office, मेरा हमेशा यही सवाल रहता है कि अगर आप सबको पता है कि this is to be changed towards, so then why you're not getting it? अगर सभी यही चाह रहे हैं तो ये कहाँ, मतलब मिस कहाँ हो रहा है?
वही है options. मुझे लगता है options भी
Vedang, you have options because you are Vedang. Okay, so let me just say that, okay? Because he keeps saying options. And I'm like, yeah, if you're this good looking, this ripped, this talented, of course you'll have options, Vedang.
Okay, so let's not put it as options. Let's put it as like what he said, grass is always greener. I think that feeling is much stronger now. I think
Choice paralysis.
Yeah, choice paralysis, bias syndrome. It's like I guess maybe this is my analysis, that from at that time, in the earlier times, there was one person and you used to decide that this is my person and truly accept whatever comes with it. Now you feel that this is your person, but something that may be a problem or something that you may not necessarily love about them.
Red flags.
Those red flags, you feel like, okay, another person won't have these red flags, and maybe you think that, okay, there is a better alternative. Maybe it's that feeling. Also at that time, like, something I kept in mind for Kinu's character also was that, for example, even proximity. You see him getting very affected by proximity, which is not normal nowadays. It's like, physical contact was like the craziest thing. How Jia puts her hand on my heart like this and says, heart attack to nahi ho gaya? And I said, no. And that it's not a thing anymore. I feel like we were so, the idea of the opposite gender, or like the person you're attracted to, was just larger than life. Every little thing mattered a lot more. And I wouldn't say necessarily it's a bad thing now that it's not like that, but maybe that's the difference.
What do you make of it, sir?
Sir, ये paradox है. I don't think there is a solution or an answer that I have. Why do people chase it constantly? If you are chasing it, I'm chasing it, everybody in the world is chasing old-fashioned love, then why aren't we getting it? Why aren't we providing it to each other? Because life is different. I think these things can't happen in isolation. The socio-politics of every home is different, and of every life, every person, the pace of life, how do you make what is present absent? You can't. Society has changed. But these are only paraphernalias, yeah. These are very exterior. I think the yearning, the searching, despite the body count, is still the same. You can decide to move on. Is it your choice? You will not move on. You might go through like 10 years and not move on. That grief will be there inside you, disturbing you. You will know it when you get off the screen, sit and go into the ozone layer of your own brain. You will know it. So what do you do then? 78 years later, the only thing about your generation is that you guys haven't been around for 78 years to tell your stories, right? 78 years later, maybe you will talk about that one gesture by which you had lost something that you could never really get over. वो भी है. You're as seeking, more seeking than any generation that I'm seeing. They want more meaning, they want more love than the previous generations. For us, it was more about adventure. For them, it is about the real thing because they can see through it very quickly. They've got even like descriptors for them. And they're very smart. So being so smart is also making it more vulnerable. They need it more than before. That's why they are coming into the theatre. But I don't have a solution, man. A solution cannot be a broad-based large solution. I feel an individual can decide their own solution.
वेदांग आप इनके साथ भी रहते थे नोटबुक और पेन के साथ
नहीं।
कि क्या बोल रहे हैं इम्तियाज सर लेट मी
सर
जस्ट
बिल्कुल क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप जब हम रीडिंग्स करते थे so that's all I was doing really.
वो तो डायरेक्टर
because I feel like so much of the Imtiaz Ali like fanboy fangirl club is basically just looking at कि कहाँ उनका इंटरव्यू आएगा pearl of wisdom मिलेगा और हमारी जिंदगी में हम लोग you will just make it a huge part of our lives and then live our lives
all
like
of
that.
them are doomed.
Did you also like were you also getting like he was giving a direction and you were like this is a nugget of wisdom, let me just put it somewhere and
Maybe not as nothing as tangible as pen and paper, but it was more definitely some things I've taken away from him. Like as you notice that sometimes you would ask me the same question and I would also kind of be I don't know what to say about these things, but he kind of it's because he thinks about life deeply, which is something he won't take credit for, but the way he observes people. Like what I realized is, I thought he was a certain kind of director by the way he was directing me on set. And I realized that he's like 18 different directors with various actors in the cast. Because, I didn't even realize that till the film got over and I realized, acha, aapne unke saath aise nahi kiya. So I realized that he's a person who really truly firstly listens. He's a very good listener. He listens to you, observe you, understand how you are as a person and adapt himself to that person in, so that it's the most effective thing. And I think that's such a wonderful quality. That is really like a really special quality that he has. And that's why he's a great director. It's because he just, more than understands people, he makes that effort to understand you.
Firstly, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
I just want to put up this thought that when I was watching the movie, for the first half, it was kind of boring for me. But when I was talking to my friends, they were like, okay, Imtiaz Ali ki movie hai na, to pakka second half mein, it will be very fun. I was like, okay, let's see the movie. And when I watched it, and there was a particular scene which has my heart, where the women of the family, they are killing अपने बच्चों को मार रही है एक-एक करके and that was still okay, but when I saw कि a woman has a child inside her and like उन्हें भी मार रहे हैं and I was so shocked, like I was half in tears. I was like that was so that I cannot even express how much. So I wanted to ask you, what was your inspiration behind this scene?
The horrors that have happened to real people during partition, believe me, I have not even touched upon it. What man is capable of doing to another man, I can't even begin to explain what has come up in research. Like, my hair is standing. I got a message today from a professor in Delhi. Said, did you have to do that shot, this particular shot? Just 2 hours back, before coming here, when I was getting into the car, I got that message. वो ज़रूरी था क्या? Now, I'm talking about a certain incident. It's true that partition is only, let's say, a backdrop to the story of Kinu and Jia. Can I gloss over? Can I pretend it didn't happen? Am I, after making a film on which happened during partition, face you and say that that scene was not there somewhere in partition, that situation was not there in partition? Would it be a true representation? No. I did not want to have that scene. I did not want to have that whole sequence. Believe me, it troubled us so much to shoot it. It was the most difficult scene for us to do. But then I thought instinctively that, how can I ignore this? It will not be complete. It will not. So, and we just put it there like that. It was terrible. But I can't even begin to explain the horrors that have happened. And one of the things that in the film you can see is that, boss, people do this to people. These people were not Martians. They did not come from another planet. They were you and me. We might feel hum hote to thodi karte, hum nahi karte. But people like you and me have done it. It is possible. Please don't go there.
No, I feel film के अंदर the thing, that dialogue that kind of stayed with me most was when Daljit and अपने जो चाचा जी के साथ उनकी बात चल रही है, वो कह रहे हैं कि this is the poison, we don't want to pass it on. And then Diljit खुद ही कहते हैं कि his character basically is saying, Nirvair is saying that, but we have to confront it. Otherwise, how do you know that it doesn't go to the next generation? Like, if you don't talk about it. So what was so interesting,
ये जो I'm sorry to interject, जिसको intergenerational trauma कहते हैं ना, जो आप भी कह रहे हैं कि settle नहीं कर पाते हैं वो लोग जो एक बार displaced होते हैं, क्यों नहीं कर पाते हैं? Because I feel that वो जो generation था ना, वो अपना दुख आगे बांट नहीं सकता, तो उन्होंने ऐसी चीज़ें इतनी देखी थी, वो क्या बताए अपने बच्चों को कि हमने ये देखा है हमारे साथ, and people don't want to share their shame. In Kashmir, in anywhere in the world, people don't want to share their shame with anybody else. तो कैसे बताएं, अपने मुंह से कैसे बोलें कि ये हुआ है, हमने ये देखा है या हमने ये किया है? So I think, but it passes on as intergenerational trauma, and the psychiatrist or the psychologist is always going to say that level up, meet your fears, sit with your feelings. So I think intergenerationally, I don't know, I don't claim to be a psychologist, but like people or families should also sit with their feelings.
No, you're right. So आप families की बात कर रहे हो. I had gone with my family to Berlin in Germany. तो हम लोगों ने because we were there, and I think the Holocaust is such a kind of almost omnipresent kind of thing when you are in that area. So we went to a concentration camp, to kind of see. The thing that stood out to me most was, as we were going through that camp, there was a active barracks of like soldiers, coming in and out. I was like, are these German soldiers? I asked the tour guide. They said, yes. I was like, why are they here right now? They're like, because in Germany, any soldier has to be taken to concentration camps, has to be taken to Holocaust Museum, has to spend mandatory time there. It's called something called inner leadership, where you have to confront the horrors of the past to know what you cannot be doing. And I was just thinking, India के अंदर हम लोग partition की तो बात ही नहीं करते.
ये बात है, correct.
हमारी तो मतलब I've also gone to the partition museum, and I think for days after that, it was kind of just all I could think about. I've gone to Jallianwala Bagh in its original iteration and not what's there right now. I saw those bullet holes, and I keep thinking कि हम ये बातें क्यों नहीं कर पाते, and when you think about it, sir, हमारे आप जितने भी international filmmakers को देख लो, almost a rite of passage is the World War film. There's always one, every great director has a World War film that they will do. Even Nolan has gone and said, मैं भी करूँगा. सबने अपना version बनाया हुआ है. India के अंदर, but in India, how many people have actually made partition films?
Exactly.
But interestingly, what I've been noticing, and I don't know what has happened in the last 2-3 years, Vikramaditya Motwani made Jubilee, Nikhil Advani made Freedom at Midnight, Lahore 1947 is coming, आपने फिल्म बनाई है partition के ऊपर, Gandhi is coming,
right.
क्या हो रहा है? I want to understand why are the filmmakers of our times now suddenly kind of trying to grapple with this, because I think after Garam Hawa and Tamas, for a very long time we were just not talking about this.
Because my generation of filmmakers did not know that we could, or maybe we did not know a way of doing it ourselves, because just the fact, do I have something new to say? Partition and the material exists, but do I have my story within that is what I think everybody is now finding. Vikram is, I am, and others are.
I also, आपने बोला है, and I said I want to come back to that. You said at the very beginning that I don't consider myself political. But why would you say that? Because your film is, No,
I feel like politics in the way of which side to take. I don't want to say that I'm in a certain political stance. I feel that as a director, I need to be open to everybody's point of view, right? And not try to use the film to bring out a certain political philosophy. I'd like to be individual.
But just the fact that you are showcasing the refugee crisis, you are showing ICE, you are showing Palestine, that is, a politics, and that is the progressive right, I would say, moral politics of our times, where a lot of people are against it as well and saying कि actually these are not refugees or migrants, this is not to do with, they're not even human beings, they're being dehumanized, and you are kind of, in fact, एक और choice जो आपने की है, in the film that really stood out to me was, and I've not seen it in too many other iterations of this, was you showed violence on both sides. which was a choice that I was like very surprised by, because I didn't expect to see that, in films that we make today. So you are, I mean,
No, see, I'm very careful about the word politics. I'm very careful about the word religion, because I feel that, like love, this word might mean something to you and something else to me. Every film will have politics, right? And especially a film like this. However, it is not taking a political stance. It is not going into a certain narrative, any narrative. There are so many shots at the end music video which are from the Holocaust. A certain race of people are getting traumatized and are trying to bring to themselves the ray of hope. You can see the mother and the child. You can see those kids on the swing. They belong to a certain community. A certain other community is also present. A certain other, I don't even want to say these words, but please watch it. You will know that there is representation of everybody. What I'm trying to say
basically
is that
all of us have gone through
all
this.
of us. It's just human. Like, what is your choice to have been born into this family? Now, can I put you into a category that you are this kind of a person or you have this kind of a stance? No. What is your option? You were already born into a certain house with a certain religion, with a certain. But I'm going to now judge you that तुम अब मुझसे अलग हो. ये fair नहीं है. आप भी वही कर सकते हो जो मैं कर सकता हूँ. The German soldiers that are going to the concentration camp are being told that, bro, you are capable of this inhumanity. Know that, and therefore never do it. I want to just be in an individual voice and speak to individuals like that. I don't want to come across, and I'll never. I don't want to be confined to a political point of view.
No, fair enough. I understand. I want to conclude because we've had this really conversation about partition, and as a young person, and I feel like I don't even, like he said, I don't think most people even recognize the fact that, ye baatein, the fact that he's saying that I was horrified by seeing this, I mean, I've still heard stories because my grandmother has told me stories, my grandfather has told me stories, and there are many things they've not said. So they've said things but shied away from saying the most of it. When you are doing a film like this, what is a conversation जो आप अपने parents के साथ करते हो, अपने grandparents के साथ करते हो? Did you kind of ever talk about this within your family after this film? What were you trying to kind of grapple with as a human being? And I'm saying acting तो हमने बात कर ली. As a human being and a young human being in today's times, what was it that was going on in your head?
I'm a Kashmiri who's basically a migrant also. My grandparents are from there. And what this film in turn did, I think after I went to the Partition Museum, and like I said earlier, that it's very different learning about the partition from a history textbook and then to really hear the anecdotes of real people who've been through it. It's a completely different experience. So my view of that time and the conversations that I've had with Imtiaz sir has completely changed my perspective. And I'm glad I went through this journey of playing Kino and understanding that on a deeper level. Because it somehow I realized that I was asking more questions to my parents about my roots, which is kind of, I never really got into that. I know that I'm a Kashmiri and I know that some horrible things happened to us and we had to move out from where we were and we had to start afresh. But I didn't really get into it. And in a weird way, I wanted to ask more. I'm very passionate about learning Kashmiri. That has happened after this film.
It's so interesting. I've been honestly so interesting. I lost my father last year, and the one thing that I want to do now is to learn Punjabi, because वो उनकी भाषा वो चले गया ना, तो I've lost the language, and I kind of really want to go back and learn it so that I can be connected to him in such a way.
Yeah, I think it's a similar thing for me that I want to feel connected with my roots. Also, I was very wary of asking them questions because after learning about what happened here, and we've had conversations that are much more and much greater than what we see in the film, for example, and I was so scared. I was so scared because I know there is somebody's chacha and somebody's chachi that didn't make it, and like it's heavy even talking about it right now. I did not want to know those things. So, but I did. I think I felt more connected to where I come from. I think that's what happened through the course of this film.
No, I think that's what the film is doing, So again, I think जो मैं वापस आऊँगा, I think it is also a call to this generation कि you have to go back to your roots, है ना? I mean, Diljit's character in many ways was representing that.
Exactly.
I'm coming back to my roots. I need to understand. I think, and what I get always from your films is that, you know, it is, I think you have to find a way to return to who you are, you know, inside of you. And I think this is what, and probably अभी जब घर जब पता ही नहीं है कि क्या है, तो घर क्या होता है? Actually आपके अंदर जो इंसान है, इंसानियत है, वही घर है ना, कहीं in many ways. That was my takeaway from the film, and you know.
But I also want to say, I think this is the occasion for me to say on both our behalves that we are very, very thankful to people for finding their stories in our story. It is overwhelming. I'm full of gratitude. I personally understand that, you know, people carry their things in their minds and in their hearts when they come to a cinema theater and watch something and are moved. It is it is significant beyond what is the film, how many tickets did we sell. You know, I really appreciate that. And I know that people are putting themselves into this nakedness, putting their videos on social media only to encourage other people to come and watch this film. We are not telling them to do so, but they are doing so. The few cinema theaters that Vedang and I have the chance to go and visit to see these people, I obviously have never had an experience like this in any of my films. But it is their lives, you know. So we really appreciate, we are very thankful. Host of people that are kind of promoting the film on their own. We don't even know them because they feel that there is something of theirs in this. I don't know how this is happening. There is that positivity, that love in this world that is making us go forward, no matter how we deny it. So that is really, really happening. We are very, very thankful to all of them. You know, people like Shekhar Kapoor calling me every day, kitna hua, aaj ka collection kya hai?
Wow.
Right? I've never worked with him. Piyush Mishra is sending me, he sent me the thing, house full in so-and-so cinema theater, Mubarak, balle balle. Piyush Mishra. Subhash Ghai, पता है मेरी पिक्चर हीरो, उनकी मेरी फेवरेट फिल्म है सुभाष घाई की. हीरो तेरे को इतना पसंद है, तेरे को मालूम है 2 हफ्ते में उतर गई थी. घबराओ मत, people are liking this film, don't worry, it will come through, it will make it.
Something very interesting is happening. Actually, people are rooting for this and I'm seeing that in a very genuine way that they want this film to do well. And I feel like especially, you know, certain people in the industry, and these are like legends we're talking about, but they're wanting this film to do well. Uncle, they want ki ek achhi meaningful film bhi chal jaye so that we can, you know, see more stuff like this, make more stuff like this and find confidence in doing that.
Tell these stories more. These stories deserve to be told and they deserve to be heard and seen. And it's so nice. I mean, like, I hope more young people see it because these are stories of, मतलब यही है कि हमारे, these are the stories of our times, you know. These are the, this is, आपको अपना context अभी नहीं आएगा who you are right now without knowing where you came from, you know, and this is a story that tells us where we have come from, you know, and it's important to confront it and recognize that ultimately क्या रह जाता है, इंसानियत रह जाती है, empathy रह जाती है, प्यार रह जाता है, and I think that is what you have depicted so well.
But also, I'm so sorry, I just want to take this time, I know we are running out. I'm the one that is
I'm fine.
Yeah. But did you see the song that Ayushmann did?
Yeah.
How lovely.
He's not like
पंजाब से है ना.
उसने पूरा गाना गाया है यार. The way he has done it, I didn't know. Somebody told me yesterday that आपने देखा है, and I was so moved. I don't know what to say to him. Really, अपनी तरफ से उसने पूरा गाना गाया है, and he's told us about his whole history in that thing.
And he, you know, he really wrote a lovely caption, and he, you know, इतना करने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी यार. But I feel like, hats off to him. He's a gem of a person, firstly. But, you know, in general, people want to talk about what they felt about the film. I feel that very strongly.
Without an agenda, without a motive, a lot of people, Kashyap, they are saying Anurag Kashyap is promoting my film more than his own. You know,
he said you're a brand new Imtiaz Ali. This is your second film, he said.
Yeah, this is my second film.
Yeah, that's a lovely comment.
हाँ, उसने बोला तीसरी फिल्म भी तूने अगर बना ली ना अच्छी, तो मैं अपने घर में तेरा मंदिर बना दूंगा. 2 तूने बना लिए, तीसरी भी बनाई ना तूने. So anyway, so that's but a lot of people without an agenda, people say that film industry के लोग बड़े बदमाश होते हैं, but why is Alia going to be putting out something? Why is Ayushmann going to? Alia to chalo, she's worked with us. Ayushmann has never. So many people, I can't even remember all the names, but so many people are putting themselves out there for promoting मैं वापस आऊंगा यार. How incredible, and like I don't even have words of gratitude enough to thank them.
थर्ड फिल्म क्या बनाओगे आप? कि अनुराग कश्यप मंदिर बना दे आपका?
सोचो सर.
The मंदिर के लिए थर्ड फिल्म क्या होगी?
मंदिर, घर एक मंदिर.
ट्रिलॉजी के अंदर. No, but I really, again, I said thank you so much for your time today and thank you for making this film, sir. मतलब I have never been excited about a conversation post the film, क्योंकि हमारी सारी conversation आपको पता है पहले होती है पिक्चरों के, but ये this is when the I said I genuinely can we please do this conversation because
and it made it so much more interesting for us because this is our first time doing something.
Yeah.
Except the theater visits, something after, and you guys had such great,
listeners.
Yeah.
Like he says, I am.
But you're always asking lovely questions, and it's so nice to see so many people together who've seen the film and kind of want to discuss, how we did it.
Actually, Imtiaz sir, I just have one question from you. Sorry, one last. There's just a small little rumor on the internet that Tere Saath mein was the original Agar Tum Saath Ho. Is that true?
Is it?
No?
I don't know. थोड़ा सा tune is similar, no?
What are you saying? No. No. What he meant is, I think.
I'm sorry to break your heart. It's not.
Even I got excited.
It was composed for this film. Yeah, no, it's not.
There's a rumor that there's a language that you can talk to A.R. Rahman in that nobody else can. That every time आप जो बात करते हैं A.R. Rahman को तो क्या निकलता है? There is magic. There is a transcendent magic that happens, and nobody knows what that language is.
Magic is inside that man. It's in his ear and in his brain. I've not heard any bad song like I feel from A.R. Rahman. Any song where I've not learned something new. I'm just lucky he's in my film.
Hello, hi, so I'm Refti. I'm an intern at Yuvaa. I wanted to know what inspires you to keep your hairstyle.
Hairstyle?
Her question to me, her question in the exact words
most
was,
important question
why don't
for
you
last.
cut your hair? That was the question she had asked.
This guy works with us, Suraj. He said that at some point of time, two great directors were talking. One of them was the elder one. I'll try to remember who these guys were. The younger one came and he said, this film, that film, I've made these 3 films. The older one was George Lucas. Okay, Star Wars and all of that. He was the elder one. And the younger one was the director of Godfather, of Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola. Imagine these two talking. Lucas says to Coppola, just look after your hair, the rest is okay. Okay, that's on a lighter side. No, I don't. I obviously don't take heed to Lucas's advice. I don't look after my hair. I don't use any shampoo. I don't use any comb. I use nothing. This is how it is for as long as it will be.
But आप काटते क्यों नहीं हो? Is the
मैं काटता हूँ मगर पता नहीं चलता कि काट रहा हूँ.
You watch a lot of types of movies, be it any genre. So if you had the chance not to take audience into consideration, for example, something that you would create for yourself, a movie that you would create and show the world, but not from their point of view, for your own self, what would it focus upon?
It would be मैं वापस आऊंगा. Every movie that one makes, you will think that I made the movie for you, but I've actually made it for myself. Every movie.
Okay, sir, I have a last question. Every time your movie release, people name it like masterpiece years later, and they don't really they don't really, go to watch the movies, especially the box office, when it is released. So what do we, and there is specific meme about that also, कि जब मेरी movies release होती है तुम लोग देखते नहीं हो, बाद में masterpiece बोलते हो. So what do you think is the reason behind this? कि मतलब instant वो masterpiece वाला response is not there, but years later, people call it masterpiece.
Well, I feel this has been going on ever since I think Rockstar. Right, Rockstar से ये बात मैं सुन रहा हूँ. And
हैरी मेट
generations
सेजल
have
पे नहीं
changed.
सुनी थी, but हैरी मेट सेजल को छोड़ के बाकी सब पे लागू होती है.
So, but now generations have changed, but this meme now is still there. Your generation will change it. You know why? And record this. Maybe I'll also like to see whether what I'm saying now is accurate or not. Because as I said earlier, that this generation is not saying मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रही. Nobody has said that in any theatre. So I feel that finally I have also an audience that is getting my film with all its complexities, with all its layers. So बाद में कुछ होने का जो chance है ना, वो बाद में आज ही हो रहा है. That is why we are seeing an uptrend in the ticket sale. That is why you guys have seen the film. That is why younger people are coming. So now a new meme has to come. Something else. Okay? Be original. You can't carry on the meme that has been there for 10 years.
But thank you so much for this beautiful chat, for making such a beautiful movie. सबके अलग-अलग takeaway हुए हैं. I think everyone, as you said, all of us are finding our stories in this. And imagine sir, आपने मतलब अलग-अलग generations को आपने ऐसी picture बनाई है कि grandparents भी जो मैं देख रहा था आ रहे थे theatre में, they are finding their stories. Young people are finding their stories. I am finding my story. It is just, I mean, what a movie, what a beautiful story that you have told. Thank you so much for making this.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. A big round of applause for.
Thank you. Sir.
We are just going to cut your cake because it was your birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh, okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Imtiaz sir.